What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to coverage of the 2022 NBA Draft Lottery. It's finally here. Your Portland Trailblazers' fate gets decided today. It's already been decided, but we will find out if it's some good news, if it's some good fortune, or if it's some bad luck. And we're going to find out in the next hour. We're here to react with you guys live, so thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday, a very important Tuesday for the Portland Trailblazers. Eric, the day is finally here. It was taking a while to get here, and then the last week seems like it flew. I cannot believe we're going to know in the next hour if the tank was a success and if it got us a top 3 or a top 4 pick, or if it didn't really matter much and maybe we fall down a couple spots. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Get your superstitions ready. If you have a lucky anything, bring it out because we're going to need it. Anyway, Eric, how you feeling, man? Are you nervous? Are you feeling good? Are you is this just surreal? Because that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. It's weird. Like I'm excited, but I'm also like afraid that this is going to be like really discouraging for the rest of the off season. But there's also that glimmer of hope that we could be sitting here in an hour talking about how awesome it is and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a weird mix of emotions. I don't really know how to explain it.
Yep. Before we jump into things, I recommend that you don't watch chat when picks are close to being unveiled, okay? That's what I recommend. I will call them out live on stream, so you don't even have to watch ESPN if you don't want to. If you want to, you can try and sync up ESPN with us on YouTube TV. I had to pause like 4 or 5 seconds. Eric's on cable. He had to pause like 4 or 5 seconds just so we could match ours up together. So if you're on cable or YouTube TV, just pause like 4 or 5 seconds, and you should hopefully be pretty close. You got Michael Wilbon on the screen right now, Eric. But don't spoil anything in chat. It's hard to spoil this. This doesn't leak like NBA draft picks, but, I want you guys to react live with us. So I recommend when it gets close to that time to just have us up on the screen. Don't pay too much attention to chat because some people are probably going to be ahead and reacting like that. But I didn't want to disable chat because I want to see your guys' live reaction, good or bad. So,
Happy birthday to Uznain, and I think our shot as well. But
yeah, happy birthday you too. Shout out to Blazer Fanaby, or Blazer Fanebby. Sorry, I don't know how you want me to put the emphasis on that, but thank you for becoming a star level member. Anything else to kind of cover in terms of the process of the stream?
No, don't be that person who's... Obviously, you can tell when Tori and I react to something. So just wait to give your reactions until you see us react, and then react away to each one. That's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, and don't post fake ones. If you post fake spoilers, you think you're funny or whatever, that's gonna get a timeout, and then if you do it again, it'll be an insta ban because we don't stand for that crap. It's stupid, and don't do it, please.
Yep. We'll have mods hopefully here ready to help us out in case that's the situation. But yeah, we're just gonna try and react to this live. It's hard to do a live stream and react to something like this live. It's hard to do it with the draft because Woj and Shams spoil pretty much literally everything. But this should hopefully work well. Shout out to Jackson for his 16-month member message. He says, I work at 5. Either way, too happy or mood ruined. That's a bad time to work. I know Connor took today off just for the draft lottery, so shout out Connor. Shout out to our mods. Thank you, Jackson, for also being a channel member.
Hopefully Jackson can have it on the TV at work.
Yeah.
I know they've got a bunch of TVs in there.
Or have us on your TV. Yeah. Put us up on the TV, Jackson. That would be cool, man. Anyway, let's just look at the Blazers pick odds. These are the Blazers pick odds for each pick. The most likely pick for your Portland Trailblazers is the 7th overall pick. That is what I'm expecting. Expect the worst and hope for the best. I think that's the best mindset to have going into this. 29.7% chance at falling to 7, a 20.6% chance of falling to 8. So that's a 50.3% chance that we have of falling to 7 or 8 in this draft lottery. Then next, 9.6% chance at 4, 9.4% chance at 3, 9.2 at 2, and then a 9% chance at the first overall pick. Overall, the Blazers have a 37% chance to jump into the top 4. So pretty solid odds. They have an 8.6% chance of staying at 6th. That would require no teams below them jumping up into the top 4. That's why that's less likely, even though Portland's at 6th. And then you have a 4% chance of falling to 9 or 10. A very minuscule chance at 10th. Anything else you want to portray here with the odds, Eric?
Nope. It's been the same way for months, right? Yep. Just got to pray that we have a better 50% chance of moving up.
Yep. So,
and as the picks progress, what'll happen is they'll say, like, Cleveland should be at this spot or whatever for the 14th pick. So if Cleveland's there, it's good.
Well, here's what I did, Eric. I have the background like grayed out, but you can see the teams,
Yep.
okay? And then as they unveil them, I will put the teams up like such. Right, I'll have to change it out. You might hear some clicking during this because I might have to change out one of these graphics if a team jumps up. But then bottom 4, I will put the teams that jump up. So if anybody's confused as to how this works, okay, there's a certain amount of ping pong balls for each team or a certain number of combinations.
Before you do that, real quick.
Yeah.
So there's a timer back on the screen. Mine says return in 102, 101,
1 minute. Yeah, so if you want to sync yourself up, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That means we're still synced, so that's good, Eric. Yeah, it says returns in 53, 52, 51. Try and get synced off that. Anyway, so the way this works, if anybody's confused, okay, I'm just going to go over this once. The way this works is each team has a certain number of combinations. The worst teams have the most combinations, have the best odds. And they draw for the top 4 spots. So they don't draw for 5th or 6th or 7th. That's why Portland can't jump up to 5th. They can't jump up unless they jump up into the top 4 since they only draw for the top 4 spots. So that's why there was no 5th place pick on the screen for Portland. Then after they draw the top 4 teams, then at 5 and below, it's in order from worst to best, basically. So let's say the bottom 4 teams jump up. Obviously not going to happen. But let's say the bottom 4 teams jump up. Then Rockets would be at 5, Pistons at 6, Magic at 7, Thunder at 8, Pacers at 9, Blazers at 10. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works. Do you think did I explain that well?
Yep. So
cool.
Like I was saying, as it progresses, the more teams that show up in those 4 spots that Tori has right below him and I, the more teams that show up on there before we get to the Blazers pick, the worse odds we will then have of moving up. So if in a perfect scenario, when we get to the Kings at 7, there would be no teams in that bottom 4. It would still say 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would be completely chalk up to that point. So that, if you're rooting for the best case scenario for the Blazers, you want those top 4 picks on the bottom to be filled up as late as possible in the process.
Yep. Because that's the thing. If you get to the Blazers pick at 6 and no teams have jumped up, you have 6 teams left for 4 spots. At that point, it would probably be greater than the 50-50 chance that Portland's in the top 4. But if you get there and there's only one top 4 spot left and 7 teams left on the board, that's 1 spot for 7 teams. It's probably not going to be us. So that's... if Cleveland or Charlotte or the Thunder at 12, they have the Clippers pick at 12, and that's unprotected, so they keep it even if it's number 1. That was part of the Paul George trade. So if one of those teams jumps up, it's not going to be good news for us. We can still jump up, but it's just far less likely. So we will be reacting to that. So in case, you say, dang it, the New York Knicks jumped up. That's why we would possibly react like that, is because it takes away a top 4 spot. Anyway, let's thank some donos. Shout out to Emerson, member for 21 months. Emerson, one of the longest tenured members. Thank you, Emerson. 9.0% is his member message. 9%, man. 9%. Fingers crossed.
Come on.
Shout out to Brian Tadovich, who says... with a $5 dono, thank you, Brian. He says, for the gods, if we get 7, pick 1 considering we can't trade down. Mathurin, Griffin, Murray. Thanks for this because I'm nervous AF. All right, so who would I pick out of those three? I'd pick whichever one measures the best and the biggest between Matherin and Griffin.
What if they both measure poorly?
Then
matter.
I mean, I'm praying if we have to pick there, then I don't even know at that point. At that point, I'd probably go Duran, actually. But I don't, if we end up at 7, I want to trade down. We'll talk about what we think we should do with our pick, depending on where it ends up. Okay, so we will talk about that right after the lottery has been revealed. Anyway, for some reason you got Kendrick Perkins there. I bet you he knows 0 prospects in this draft.
Yeah, but they made up for it by having Malika, so...
Oh, okay. Shout out Play-by-Play, $10 dono. Malika's awesome. Did you hear her sing earlier?
Yeah.
It was very beautiful. Shout out to Play-by-Play for a $10 dono. He says, may Adam Silver be with us. All right, so we're praying to the lottery gods, and we're praying to the Adam Silver god. Just any gods you can pray to. I think this is the time where you pray to them because we need all the luck on our side that we can get. Thank you, Play-by-Play, for the $10 dono. Shout out James D, $5 dono. He says, here we go, boys. I've got all my fingers and toes crossed for our pick. I can't cross my toes, but if I would, I could. Thank you, James, for the $5 dono. Shout out Zach, member for 23 months, and our mod. Thank you for your service, Zach. He says, do you want to read this one off, Eric?
Sure, let me scroll up. Bro, B-O, bro, Arbo, bro, BR.
I figured you'd get a kick out of that. I don't know what any of that means, but thank you nonetheless, Zach, for whatever the hell that was.
I think he's just excited.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Do you spam bro out your mouth when you get excited, Zach? I'm not even excited, man. I'm nervous, honestly. I have so much nervous energy right now. I can't really contain it. Shout out Caleb Pendergraph, $2 dono. He says, got it. The more teams that jump up, the better. But he's being sarcastic. Shout out Caleb with all his sarcastic donos. That's kind of his shtick at this point.
Last night, yeah, he's becoming the king of that. Exactly, better take notes.
Finding your niche in the community. Thank you, Caleb. And then shout out David Yu, member for 6 months, says, just put on my Roy's jersey under my Dame's jersey. That's a... Hey, props to David if that works, because that might just be crazy enough to work. The Blazers do have some good luck with 6. They drafted Roy at 6. They drafted Dame at 6. And in 2007, they had the 6th best odds when they jumped up to number 1, and the odds were worse than they are now. So maybe 6 is a good number. Fingers crossed. Anyway. We're all caught up on that. Somebody asked what our countdown timer is. If you want to get synced with us, with your TV or whatever, it says 43 minutes, 13 seconds left until game time. 43:11, 43:10, 43:09. Now, as I said at the start of the stream, try not to, try and get synced, but try not to pay attention to chat if you just want to react based off our reaction, okay? Try not to look at chat, because some people will probably be ahead and will probably spoil it, all right? So I'm not going to be paying any attention to chat when this thing is close to going down, okay? I'm going to be paying no attention to chat. I might even take chat off my screen, okay? Just so I can react purely to the lottery and not somebody in chat. I'm not going to let somebody spoil it for me in chat. But, if you're... in chat, and you might be ahead, try not to react in chat until we react on stream, all right? Because we're all trying to react together. Obviously, it's not the easiest thing, considering there's streaming and cable, and shoot, probably a couple of you are watching on illegal streams or something like that, or we're hoping this was an illegal stream maybe, but it's not. It's hard to get synced, obviously. So, we're going to try and do our best. They got Ben Carroll on the screen right now, interviewing him.
That's not Patrick Mahomes?
You think he looks like Pat Mahomes?
No, you didn't see that?
No.
He was at that F1 Grand Prix race in Miami. This was like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And some British reporter went over to him thinking he was Patrick Mahomes and started interviewing him, and then realized like halfway through the interview it wasn't Patrick Mahomes. And then he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Paulo Banchero. And then the guy was like, whatever, and just walks off. Like he had no idea who it was.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, actually. I mean, that's UK. I feel like they pay a lot more attention to basketball than football, right? So I don't really know how it is there, though. I'm not from there, but That's funny. Shout out Mr. Pion. Just became a starter level member. Thank you, Mr. Pion. Shout out
Liam. Met Mr. Pion a few weeks ago.
Did you? Was it cool?
Played basketball, yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Guy.
Oh, he showed up with you. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr.
Did
Pion.
you get Alvaro's?
Oh, no. Alvaro has a $2 dono that says, screw Norman Powell. All my homies hate no D Norm. Thank you, Alvaro. I would. Screw Norman Powell, man. I'm with the energy.
It's not Norm's fault we gave him away.
I mean, it's his everything before that, though. But we're not going to argue about Norm. We're hopefully on to better days. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that. Shout out Liam Best, $2 Australian dono. He says 9% odds. It's Lillard. He's got the #1 pick.
You didn't say it right, man.
What did I say wrong?
9% odds. It's Lillard. He's got the #1 pick. Let's go.
Oh, like the I didn't even.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
Nice. Okay, good, clever. I didn't even get it. So shout out to Eric. That's why Eric's here. He's just here to get your guys' references that fly over my head. So thank you, Liam. And then shout out Caleb Pendergraph, another $2 dono. He says, please no Wojing. I don't know if Woj can leak this because it's pretty on lock, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
Yeah. But
I mean, he might know, but
if you see Woj, if you get it spoiled, don't spoil it for chat, okay? And here's the thing. Hey, anybody that spoils it for chat, I'm just going to assume that they're trying to troll us and trying to make stuff up.
Yeah. Real quick, Dizzy D, man. Ariel Huckporty, I know he's your favorite player, but he withdrew from the draft, so you don't even have to worry about that once again this year.
Yeah. Thank you, Roy. What's the countdown at again? It's off the screen at the moment. Yeah, but there's people jumping into a pool, and I'm kind of jealous of them.
I know, it's hot today. I like it.
Rahi, ball number 6 isn't necessarily us, so I think they have, what? Numbers 1 through... They have like 1,000 combinations, and they draw numbers, and whatever numbers come up is a combination for a team.
Yeah, so there's like a number combination. So if you have like 9% chance of moving up, there's 9 out of, whatever, or like 9% of the thousands of combinations. And then if that combination comes up with the 4 ping pong balls or whatever it is, that's what it comes out to.
Yeah, so it'd be like 500 through 590 if there was 1,000 combinations.
Right.
Would be 90%, obviously. So, anyway, I want Chet. Eric wants Jabari. For anybody that's curious who's #1 on our big boards. Also, you can follow us on Twitter in case you just found us. Links in the description box below. We tweet out draft stuff and we post draft content here on this channel, so you can subscribe to. Even if you're not a Blazer fan, there will be a lot of draft content, and we will have an NBA draft stream with unique graphics for that. Shout out Eugene David, $10 dono. He says, thanks for all your videos. I love to listen to live streams at work the next day when I miss them late at night. Helps my day fly by faster. Thank you, Eugene. I'm glad I can be of service to you, my guy.
Thanks, Eugene.
And then shout out Cole, $2 dono. He says, we've suffered so much this year for this moment. Yes, hopefully the suffering ends. But as a Blazer fan, I've sat here and tried to accept that we have the 7th overall pick. I've tried to just put that in my mind that we have the 7th overall pick. All right? I'm trying to accept it early. Yeah, so I won't be too disappointed. But obviously,
it still will be, though.
I can't trick myself. Yeah, I wish I could. I should have went and seen a hypnotherapist and had her hypnotize me into actually, truly believing it. That's what should have happened, honestly. But yeah, I'm pretty damn nervous, man. I mean, we'll see.
And for anyone that hasn't yet, we normally don't beg for it, but if you'd please like this video to get it out to as many people as possible, we'd really appreciate it. It's a way to support us without having to donate money or anything like that. And thank you so much if you're willing to do that.
Yep, slap that like button. I don't do the cliche YouTuber stuff where I tell you to smash it, punch it, slap it, all that stuff. Except for today, slap that. All right? Hit that like button.
Cheers and barking box.
I'm not going to talk about like Aiden Gobert and that type of stuff. It's just draft today. Dude, chat's popping.
Yeah. If you asked a good question earlier
Yeah.
and we missed it, re-ask it.
Yeah, a good draft question or whatnot. We're just literally killing the time. And I'll give you the countdown.
Zaydian asked if we're going to do a draft lottery stream. So.
That's funny, dude. I swear, we've said that so many times, and people who have watched us and heard us say that continue to ask us that. That was funny. Yeah, we're right here, draft lottery stream. Shout out Antonio, $2 dono. Says, draft party if number one. Yeah, we still have to figure out stuff with the draft. That's a whole other beast, though, so I'm not even worried about that at this point in time. Shout out Caleb Pendergraph, $5 dono. He says, I've got my Aldridge drinking glass ready for my drink of sadness or happiness for either case. I thought you said... I thought he was going to say he had it ready for him to smash it on the ground in case we get screwed.
Oh no. Don't do that.
What are you going to smash, Eric?
I don't think I'm going to smash anything.
Ah, damn. Anyway, because then I could be looking forward to a 7th overall pick if you were going to smash something.
I'm going to smash something if we trade our lottery pick for Jeremy Grant, but yeah.
Facts.
Because that would mean we...
tanked for nothing.
Ishfull, the clock is fixed now, so...
Yeah, no longer any reason to smash that clock, unfortunately.
My wife would be very mad if I...
Just tell her you can buy a new one. It's not the thing, right? Shout out Greg Martin, member for 17 months. He says, sending good vibes. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for the vibes, man. Shout out Luis for $5 dono. He says, what up, fellas? I'm listening to you while I work. Thanks for the great content you always provide. Let's go. Rip City. Thank you, Luis. Hopefully you're going to have a good rest of your day at work, because that would mean something good happens right now. Thank you for your donos to kind of kill the time, because I'm nervous, man. I just got a bunch of nervous energy. Anyway, Woj is on the screen right now. 34-27, 34-26, 34-25, 34-24. In case you want to get your stream or TV or cable or whatever synced with ours.
He's talking about the bad luck the Celtics have going into the series.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Hyper Prime member for 7 months. He says, Blazers in 1. Paulo really growing on me. I don't even care to get 1. Just give us a top 3 pick, okay? Mm-hmm. Honestly, give us 4. I will take 4 because I like Sharp. I don't even care where in the top 4. Just please give us a top 4 pick, and we have almost a 40% chance of getting one. I should not be optimistic, but I'm gonna lose my mind before this even starts, Eric.
So the Clogger, we do not have 35 minutes. It starts in a few minutes.
Yeah.
In 35 minutes, we'll know.
I couldn't handle 35 minutes of anticipation. Shout out Gray Hughes, $5 dono. He says, number 2 pick, my spirit box told me. We'll see if your spirit box is correct, Gray. I will absolutely take a number 2 overall pick. Shout out Clearly a Bot, member for 8 months. Says, let's go. Glad to be a part of the cult. Thank you for being part of the Blazers Uprise cult. And then... Michael, $10 dono, says, if we get the number 1 pick, that means Cronin is a confirmed genius, right? Hashtag sarcasm. Thanks for the great content, guys. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, we're just jumping on the sarcasm train. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Cronin knew we were going to get the number 1 pick if we get the number 1 pick, so yes, he would be a genius.
For those that aren't on Twitter, I just have to say this for the record once more. Most of you know this already. We could have tanked regardless of whether we made bad trades or not. We could have sat out players. We could have traded for good players and sat them out. We could have not traded players if we didn't get good value for them and sat them out, just like we did with half our roster. So this pick is not a byproduct of the trades we made being good or bad. So he does not get credit for whatever happens in this draft for the trade aspect of it. Now, he will get credit in my mind for tanking as well as he did if we move up, because they did a brilliant job of even getting up to the 6th seed when we didn't tank until, halfway or more than halfway through the season. So just the fact that they were able to only win 2 out of their last, 23 games or whatever it was a good move by the front office to kind of hamstring Chauncey from being able to win games. But that's the only credit he will get from me. He doesn't get any credit for his plan working out better because he has a pick. He actually needs this pick to hit, whether that be moving up and drafting the star or staying where we're at and just picking the right player that helps us win or trading it for a player that does help us win. he has to hit on this pick in order for his plan to even have a chance to be successful, and he's painted himself in that corner with the moves he's made. So this pick is everything to him, and he will be kind of bailed out if it moves up, and I'm hoping he does get bailed out because I want what's best for the franchise. I don't want to sit here making fun of him or being mad at our GM for the rest of his tenure here. I want to be happy that he's actually making good moves. So hopefully this is the first step in the right direction.
Yep. Shout out to Julian Horazuski, $5 dono. He says it's Juju. He leaked his name. Shout out to Juju. He says, let's get this top 4 pick. Let's get it. They're not going to release the picks right off the bat. They're going to introduce everybody that's there. So still a little bit of time to go. I need to make sure I have my setup ready. I think I do. I'm going to have to be doing a lot of clicking while also saying the picks. And I'm ready. Anyway, if you are a Blazer fan, subscribe to us. We do post-game shows in season. We do a lot of Blazer video content. If you're not a Blazer fan, still subscribe to us. We'll have a draft live stream. We'll have a free agency live stream. And we've been posting draft profiles. We'll have more of those. So we have a lot of content that will also pertain to you, even if you're not a Blazers fan. You know, this is Blazers Uprise, so we have a Blazers focus here, but we do cover the rest of the NBA as well. Look at this intro, man. It's horseshoes. It's dice.
I'd like to apologize in advance if I let a curse word fly. Just, you're warned.
You should be the opposite. You shouldn't apologize. You should.
No,
they should be thanking you.
I always look like I'm disappointed in chat. That's
dude, I can't. Oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna lose my
Chat has not yet disappointed me today, but yeah. Thanks.
Dude, I can't even formulate words at this point, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you guys aren't synced with us, make sure to sync with us.
It's better than the people in chat who are saying they're pooping their pants.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about that. But I'm not looking at chat from here on out, all right? Unless they go to a commercial break. The stage, I like what they did with the stage this year, but I don't even look at chat for the next 5 minutes, Eric, or until,
There's Dame, let's go.
There's Dame. All right, we got Dame on the screen. If you don't have Dame on the screen, if you already saw Dame, pause your stream for a few seconds. Look at that man looking sharp.
We got Rip Hamilton's going to wear his mask. Are you kidding me?
That's funny. Hey, there's bro, we got Dave and we got Chet. Let's go. Bro, that's hype. That's hype. Dame and Chet in the same intro is so freaking hype. You got Banchero. Got Jabari there. I wonder if they have Ivy there. I think that's just those three.
Did you see Chet was actually at the Combine yesterday?
Was he?
He was just like chilling watching the games.
That's dope.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there was anyone from Gonzaga there.
At the elite Combine, the lower level Combine?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Strother and Nemhard and Timmy all made the actual Combine. So you do have a couple trades here. The Pelicans are in this thing via the Lakers pick. If the Lakers pick somehow falls 3 spots, the Grizzlies get it. Shout out John Weed, $5 dono with a sticker with some heart eye emojis. Thank you, John Weed. Maybe I shouldn't even read off dodos during this.
I think there's a 0.04% chance they lose their pick. So they'd have to get as unlucky as we would be to fall to 10th.
Yep, I'm really going to try and avoid spoilers here. But they don't even have... I guess we can look at chat. They don't even have anybody out on the stage right now. So
I'm guessing they're going to, introduce them.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but... Dude, I hope we get chat so all the people that saying, #never chat, screw chat. Chet can come here and win us a freaking championship. And then you guys can apologize to me for giving me so much crap.
I mean, not many people are giving you crap. It's just...
Nope, that's crap to me. There's giving it to me, and it's crap. I will take Banchero, Jabari, or Chet. I don't care. I would, if they take any of those guys number one, they're close enough where I'm like, okay, I'll trust the research that they did into them. And you should too, because all three of those guys are legitimate players. So yeah. But anyway, don't spoil any of the picks.
There's our shot. I want to say it's your birthday, so if it is, happy birthday. If it's tomorrow, happy early birthday. But I think it's tomorrow where he lives.
Yep. Anyway, I don't even really want to look at chat. Somebody said Woj bomb, and I don't even want to get spoiled, so...
It's not. I am pouring. Not peeing right here in front of you guys. That would be weird.
Bro, what? You should show the pour. What are you drinking?
Just Pepsi and rum.
Nice.
That's what I had in the closet.
Bro, I almost called him Pendrick Perkins. Get Kendrick Perkins off my screen. I don't care. Let's get this going. Dude, I forgot how they drag out the start of this, and I never really cared. But with having a team in the lottery, it's painful.
Guys, Arshad's hoping for birthday luck.
Oh, dude, this is painful to wait for. Should have queued up some Jeopardy music or something.
Do I like Pepsi or Coke better? I like them both. I mean, if I had a choice of both of them, I'd probably take Pepsi, but I don't really mind either one.
Do you want to rant about Cronin some more? We need some filler.
Why did you hide that, Connor?
What'd he hide?
I can't unhide it. I don't know. Someone said perk is sexual chocolate. That's not a hide-worthy comment. Like,
I don't know if I read that out. Oh man. Okay.
Well, I had to read it out because it got. Oh, he said he misclicked.
Oh. Dude, I don't even. I'm just tempted to let it dead air until we're. Okay, we're here. Good. Thank God. Nope, it's Mike Schmitz. Why'd you gotta do me like that? You got me excited, and it's just Mike Schmitz.
Schmitz has Murray.
Oh, see, I told you he's overrated.
Yeah, you're a Murray hater, but
I don't hate him. I'm just not a Murray lover. There's too many Murray lovers out there.
Yeah. What's funny is you didn't let me answer that question earlier. I might have said Murray, depending on measurements.
Yeah, no Murray. I saved you. You're welcome.
At 7, though, that's not a bad thing.
We need to raise our ceiling. Oh man, I want to listen to this interview. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right. I can hear it. Nice. Paulo is the drippiest, according to Rahi. Chet is so tall. Yeah. Jabari and Paulo look about the same height, but Paulo's got the hair.
Yeah. I shouldn't have I rewound it 15 seconds and didn't think about it. Fast forward it back 15 seconds. Hopefully we're still synced. I didn't even think about that.
Chet's doing the Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands. Holy crap. Chet's like way taller than David Robinson. That's crazy. Dude, yeah, I can't wait to see the measurements, like wingspan and standing reach on these guys, because they all look legit 6'10".
Yeah. We have to make sure we're synced with something here. They just panned
Uh,
away.
yeah.
Okay.
It's showing all the representatives walking up.
Yeah. Okay. Orlando just popped up. We should be good. Let me know right when it cuts to commercial. Unless it's not.
State Farm. There's a State Farm ad in the
Just let me
left.
know right exactly when it cuts to commercial. Like off the thing. Look at these pictures, man.
All right, just went to commercial. It's showing Trey Young jumping.
Oh, how are you ahead of me? And I
I don't
can't
know
even
why you
fast
messed it
forward.
up.
No, I can't even fast forward. Let me try. I think we're fine now. Let me know when it's right on to the next commercial. And we'll make sure we're synced here. Pizza Hut.
All right, Pizza Hut right now.
Yeah, I'll pause it like. I think that should be good. Yeah, and then let me know when you're on to the next one. Next one.
Yep.
Is that good? Okay. Dinosaur.
Jurassic
trying to
World.
Eat this chick. She's jumping
Do
buildings
not
like a
know what this
badass.
is.
It's another Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World, but yeah.
I don't know how they make so many movies off the same thing like Fast and Furious. She clotheslined that dinosaur.
Well, there's the original 3 Jurassic Park, and then this is the last of the trilogy for the new Jurassic World ones.
Next commercial?
Yep.
Are we good, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. If we're like half a second off, it don't really matter. Anyway. They gotta make sure they get their ad money, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who wasn't expecting this to play out this way, where they
We should have warned them. But
they wait. Yeah, sorry.
I forgot just how bad it was, man. They gotta get their TikTok money,
TikTok
their Taco
promotion.
Bell money. Making me hungry.
GK asked who has a longer wingspan, Chad or that dinosaur.
Good comparison, honestly. Unless we were talking about the T-Rex in that case.
With
then...
with wingspan, I don't think you want to be.
Well, there was multiple. Right? Wasn't there multiple kinds of dinosaurs? Yeah. I don't know the other kinds of dinosaurs, but.
Well, in the movies, they like splice DNA from different dinosaurs, I think, and form like a super dinosaur. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The official beer being off clock.
Zach had said it's been 16 minutes since that was said, so.
What's been 16 minutes?
Zach said you said it wasn't going to be 35 minutes.
Well.
And he said till the start of it, too.
No, it'll probably, honestly, right when we get back off commercial. Let me know right when you're to the next commercial, and
all right,
we'll see how close we are here.
Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp. Dizzy D with the $2 donation. Can't wait for the mock off season top 3 pick time.
Next commercial? Or back?
Yep, back.
Was it right when you said back?
It was the second before.
Okay, then we should be good.
Jason Tatum just came on the screen.
A left-hand hook.
He's shooting his second left-hand hook.
Right,
third left-hand. Yeah, okay.
Good. Damn,
right.
They have Duke there. Man.
Oh, there's AJ Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah, all the Duke guys there.
Yeah, I can't wait for the actual combine to start. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Ivy is there. He was right behind Bankera.
Yeah. Can we hurry this up, please? God damn it.
There was the man who abused Cronin. He should be arrested.
Dame.
Let's go. I think how it works is the person you have represented in the room is different than the person you have on stage, and they have all those people sequestered until after they're announced, so they can't leak anything, and they take all their phones and stuff.
That's how they keep it from
Let's go,
leaking.
Dave. Let's go. What's he saying? Our Lord and Savior, Damian Lillard.
Anyway, okay. Look at Dame, man. All right, I just want to know, man. The anticipation is brutal.
I did just use sequestered yet.
I'm not gonna look at chat. They're still interviewing Dame. Okay.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you want to talk to Dame out of all those people that are there? Who are you going to talk to? Anderson Varejao?
Nick Collison?
Yeah, they're Sharp and Keegan Murray.
All right, so you have 4 teams with a 14 chance of the number 1 overall pick. The Rockets, Magic, and Pistons. And then the Thunder, their own pick, has a 12.5% chance, and the Clippers have a 1.5% chance, and they get both of them. Then,
I didn't think of it that way. That's funny.
Yeah, Indiana has a 10.5% chance. Portland has a 9% chance. Sacramento, 7.5%. New Orleans, 6%. San Antonio, 4.5%. Washington, 3%. The rest were lower than that, but they took it off the screen. Anyway.
Hailblazer says, whatever happens with the $2 donation, I love you guys. Love you too, Hailblazers.
Thank you, Hailblazers. I'm not gonna... Oh, why is my freaking stream lagging? No.
PJ Washington. Maybe another former or future Blazer.
Bro, why is my feed lagging?
They just showed Wes Unseld. David Robinson.
Let me know when it switches off him.
Swin Cash. DeMontis.
Nice.
Dame, let's go. Kelly Crosskopf. Nick Collison. Special assistant to the front office. Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah.
Who you all think Dame is favoring? I don't know yet.
Rip, you gotta put on the mask, man. You can't just have it on the podium.
I know. What the heck? Jamal Mosley and Raphael Stone. Is he the only actual general manager there?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, it's about to happen, Eric. Oh my goodness. All right.
I gotta put my drink down so I don't kick it over when I jump.
I'm so scared. Oh, I'm so scared. This is scary. Bruh, this is so scary.
There's Mark Tatum. It's on. Oh, man.
All right. I'll announce. I'll say the picks and I'll reveal them with the graphics. All right. Oh my God.
He's
here.
Cleveland
We go.
Cavs
14th is Cleveland.
Right. I'm taking down chat for a minute.
All right, smart. With the 13th overall pick, it'll be Charlotte.
Thank you.
I'm
on Thunder. Yes.
12 is Thunder.
I can't believe this is happening right now.
I know.
Man, I needed wireless headbuds.
Yeah. New York is 11.
Yes,
He
okay.
messed up the
Thank you.
sheet. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is good news so far.
Come on, whiz,
Please be
whiz, whiz.
Washington at 10. Out of
Yes, let's
10, it's
go.
Washington.
Let's
We're
go.
good.
This is
Okay, this is
going
going
perfect so
well.
far, chat. It's going perfect. Man, my heart is beating so fast.
I know. At 9,
Yes,
please be
let's
San Antonio.
go.
Let's go.
Come on.
At 8,
Pelicans. Yes, let's go. Come on.
please don't be Portland at 7. I'm taking my headphone out because you're slightly ahead. At 7,
No.
we got screwed. Yep. Anyway, that's how it goes as a Blazer fan.
The Kings moved up.
That's how it goes as a Blazer fan.
Pacers are 6. So we didn't want to pass them.
That's how it goes as a fucking Blazers fan, man. I knew it. Well, of course we don't get that shit.
Detroit's 5, so we got Kings, Thunder, Pistons, and Magic in the top 4.
Of course, man.
The Pistons got screwed too.
You were ahead of me. That sucked. I saw your reaction. My thing lagged.
That sucks because you were a second ahead of me, I think, at one point. Oh man.
Yeah. So top 4, you got.
Well, 7 is Rockets, Pistons, or no, Rockets, Magic, Thunder, and Kings.
Bro, I don't even want 7.
Yeah, worst possible. Sharp's not going to be there at 7.
We're gonna take. Oh my god, bro.
We're going to trade it.
Why do we have the worst luck? Can we just get one break, please? How hard? How hard is it for good things to happen to this freaking team?
Well, shouldn't have tanked, maybe.
I don't even care who's won, bruh.
It's not. This draft isn't crap, though. There's definitely difference makers in this draft.
Bro. Can we ever have anything good happen on a stream? Ever? Like...
It's cursed.
Do I gotta delete the channel for something good to happen? Like, I don't understand, man. Well, whatever.
At least we didn't get 8th.
We're gonna trade it for Grant, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cronin didn't get bailed out. What's his magic plan now? Tank a whole year and trade CJ and our pick that we tanked a whole year for, and we end up with Josh Hart and Jeremy Grant. Yeah, we're gonna get to the promised land, guys. We got it. Cronin's a genius. Cronin is a genius.
Hey, congrats to the Kings. Maybe they're finally gonna do something.
Bro, if they draft Chet, they're gonna curse Chet. Hopefully, honestly, I want to see the Magic #1.
All right, we got 800 people watching. Just know, if we trade our 7th pick now for Jeremy Grant, you want to be subscribed to this channel because I am going to go on the most epic rant of all time, and I will obliterate Joe Cronin. And yeah, so yeah. If that dude made us endure this tanking season just so we could lose a second lottery pick and trade our pick for Jeremy Grant, that's like the worst GMing of all time, and that is just pathetic. So yeah.
We are screwed. We're so screwed. Yeah.
Well, the lottery gods were not in favor of his plan.
The only people in favor of his plan is people that don't understand what his plan is, but think he has one.
You gotta wait and see, Tori. Thank you to Famished Yoshi for a $2 donation. Blazers are toast, with a toast emoji and a crying emoji.
We are toast. But we've been toast, so...
I mean, now we just gotta hope. We gotta hope for a nice trade back option to where we pick up 2 lottery picks or 2 mid-first, like with Charlotte, and yeah.
If we draft Keegan Murray at 7, I will throw up. Anyway, here's the top... Here, let's go with the top 4. Alright, at 4, you have...
The Kings.
The Kings.
Kings gonna Kings.
So they're gonna get Ivy, I guess. At 3, you have Houston. At 2,
Magic
you
and
have
Thunder.
the Thunder. The Magic have the #1 overall. Give me Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren together, and I can become a Magic fan. Magical Uprising. Let's go. Anyway, there's your draft order. Magic #1. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, congrats to the Magic.
So if you mock this top part of the draft, what do you think?
Magic are the toughest team for me.
I think if their plan is Wendell Carter Jr. long term, I think Chet Holmgren makes a lot of sense next to him.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted Chet, man. At least I don't have to listen to haters all year, every time he ever does anything wrong.
And then, yeah, 2, the Thunder. Oh, man, that's tough.
I mean, they could go Sharp.
I know I could see them taking any of the... That'll make for some interesting things happening for 1 and 2.
I think the Pacers go Keegan Murray at 6. That's just my gut. They just seem like the team for Keegan Murray. So at 7, you're left with Mathurin or AJ Griffin or... Let's hope they measure really well, Eric. Now we're sitting here waiting for combine measurements, hoping that Mathurin and AJ Griffin have the size to play the small forward spot. But then if they do, and then we trade our pick for Grant, then I'll be even more pissed, and we're just destined to get screwed. So let's stop even thinking about it. Oh my god. Anyway. Bring chat back up now. What's up, chat? How y'all doing, chat? I told y'all to be prepared for the 7th pick. That sucks that they went all the way up to 8, and then it's like, oh, no teams moved up, and then we're the first team to move down.
Yeah. I mean, we got the pick we had the best percentage chance of getting, so...
I don't want...
You said it, right?
I don't want to stay at 7. I don't want Mathurin or Griffin or Murray like that. I'd be down to trade 7 down for 13 and 15, honestly, for Charlotte. If they want to trade up and take Duran, and then you can trade 15 for Jeremy Grant, or whatever. And then you draft somebody at 13. Chris Brandlin, $5 dono. And Chris, I really don't like your dono message. I appreciate the dono, but your dono message. I'll read it off. No way the gods were going to give Joe a pass. It gets worse from here. Best hope is a steal with the 36th pick. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man. Shout out Arthur Wyatt, $2 donos. Shout out Play-by-Play, $5 dono. He said, I expect pain and still end up in more pain. I don't know if you think that, but yeah, that's the motto.
Arthur Wyatt, if you did leave a message, it got held for review, so we can't see it. So tag
Yeah.
Eric Bryant in chat, and I'll read off your message if you had one. But thank you for the donation.
You're a pain, man. At least you guys could maybe get 7 for Jeremy freaking Grant. Because our GM probably would be dumb enough to do that, so.
I mean, I don't know why you're mad at Chris.
Bro, like. No.
It's not his fault.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I just don't like his message.
I mean, you're kind of rude about it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as lottery gods, okay? It's literally a ping pong ball. We didn't get screwed because of karma, because Joe made bad moves, or because we tanked.
I know, but
you're making me argue that right now. Like,
Kyle
that's
was
why I
with
don't
the
like
$2
that.
donation. Thanks. He says, why?
Like, right after we get screwed. Just let it marinate. Thank you, Kyle. $2 dono. Like, just let us soak in our depression first. That's where I'm at right now. Anyway. Well, that's it for the draft lottery.
No more tankathon.
Thank God, dude. I never want to tank again. I couldn't imagine. I mean, Pistons, at least you guys got the number 1 pick last year.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to get one of the 3 forwards, Shaden Sharp or Jaden Ivey, so I think that's 5 is fine for them.
Yeah. I don't even know what to... Dude, I'm just...
Anyone who says Dame is going to ask out at this point is just either a troll or has no clue what the actual thing is. I mean, Dame just talked about it a few minutes ago, how he's not leaving, so whatever. Krish.
Shout out Brian Tadovich, $2 donor says, what's the plan here now? At least we still have Dame. I don't even want to think about it, because it obviously involves Jeremy Grant, and I just pray that we trade down and trade one of the picks we trade down for.
Yeah. The hope is still that we get Jeremy Grant for the Milwaukee pick and Keon
that's not
Johnson
the hope necessarily, because we're not huge Jeremy Grant fans, but it's probably going to happen, so...
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to trade for Jeremy Grant, that's... The hope is that we give up that package versus the number 7 pick. And if we give up the number 7 pick and don't get some sort of additional asset back from the Pistons, that's going to be a little frustrating in my opinion. So hopefully that's not the case.
Yep. I mean, trading down to Charlotte for 13 and 15 makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Duran would make a lot of sense for them. I think Duran makes less sense for us. And then you can trade one of those picks for Grant, and then you can take whoever's you like most on the board at 13. You could trade down to the Wizards at 10 if they really want somebody at 7. I don't see it happening, but if they really want somebody at 7, I'd take 10 and Rui. If the Thunder really want somebody at 7, then, you know, they have the 2nd pick as well. They're not trading the 2nd pick, but if you could get Lou Dort in 12 for 7, maybe toss in 30, I would probably do that as well. So there's multiple trade down options. The Spurs have 9, 20, and 25. So some combination of those picks, if they want to move up a couple spots, take somebody. So like 7 for 9 and 25, maybe.
Yeah, if we're not happy with picks in that range, I don't see a lot of teams being. I mean, all it takes is one, I guess.
The problem is you have a lot of guys that are undersized 3s, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, Matherin's more of a 2-guard. Duran's a center. We need a forward. And the forwards are the top 3 spots. And Sharp, I think, is big enough to play a forward. But the problem is Sharp, I don't think, is going to be there at 7. So at that point, you're looking at a center and some guards, basically. Keegan Murray's a power forward, but I don't like his ceiling. I would not be happy if after this freaking tank job we got somebody with we got Keegan Murray. If that was our whole master plan, was to get Keegan Murray, I mean, I'm very upset about that.
Well, I mean, the plan wasn't to get Keegan Murray. That's just might be the best possible
I know, I'm just
scenario
talking
if
about
they
the
stay at
prospects at
7.
that range, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want Keegan Murray, and then everybody else, like AJ Griffin, I think might be an undersized for the 3 spot. Same thing with Matherin.
Caleb Pendergraft, the $5 donation. Tough way to go. I blame Block Boy for no reason at all, but that's what I'm doing.
Thank you,
All right, I
Caleb.
guess.
Yeah, I blame Block Boy too. We should be sitting here with the 7th and 8th picks, honestly. Because then we could be saying, well, at least we didn't lose the Pelicans pick. But
Yeah, I mean, we'd have 7 and 8 right now, right?
yep.
Yep. That's the other thing that sucks. Because then you got a lot of things you can do with that.
Yep.
You can keep one, trade back with one,
Yep.
We'd probably be sitting here talking about having 8, 13, and 15 maybe,
Yep. That'd be nice. But shout out Brian Tadovich, $2 dono. Said, can Duran play the 4? Play Cavs ball. I don't think Duran is a 4. He can't shoot like Mobley at all. And he's better at a 5 defensively.
Especially with Nurk, that's the spacing on that is
terrible.
Not good. Neither of them have at this point at least, I mean Duran still could, but unfortunately neither of those guys have off the dribble capabilities yet, so yeah, I don't know if that's the best fit there. I mean, if Duran's the best player they think at that position, we don't trade back. I'm fine with drafting him. I don't know if playing him at the 4 is going to work.
How are we going to solve our forward position? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to wait till the measurements come out on, I think they're supposed to come out on Thursday.
Okay.
And see if any of the players happen to surprise us by being tall enough to play the small forward position. So yeah, just gonna have to get lucky there.
I just feel like we can't catch a break, man.
But you were the one saying that this was going to happen last night.
I know, because I feel like we can't catch a break. And I still feel like we can't catch a break. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, it just sucks.
David, you with Australian $5 donation. Thanks, David. He says, bummed, but I hope we could trade down to Charlotte or try trading the pick for OG. Dyson Daniels would be in that range and fits with Toronto's profile.
I would trade this pick for OG so fast.
Mm-hmm. So that probably means we would. I mean, I guess Detroit could still take Bledsoe, but it'd be nice to not have to worry about getting Grant then.
Yeah, I mean, this just sucks, guys. No way around it. This is why I was trying to mentally accept that we had the 7th pick.
Jing asked, do you think we could make a deal with Sacramento to move up to 4? I don't know what we have that would want them to move out of the 4th position. We don't have assets.
That's why it's a problem.
Yeah. That's exactly why Tori and I have been whining as much as we have since the trade deadline, is because we don't have much to attach to our pick to move up in this situation. So
if AJ Griffin measures adequately, I want AJ Griffin. I just am very curious to see these measurements.
Josh Hart's not enough to get you to move into the top 4 of this particular draft, I don't think. From 7 to 4. I mean, I guess the Kings could Kings, but I don't know.
We got people tagging on us on Twitter asking why we would be mad if we traded the 7th pick for Grant. Because we freaking tanked a whole season. We We could have maybe kept New Orleans out of the freaking playoffs and kept their pick if we didn't tank. And then we would have had, potentially 2 picks or still a late first that we could have traded for Grant. But then we would have had all our future firsts. Like, tanking and then trading the 7th pick for Grant just made the tank completely pointless.
We tanked for nothing. So, yeah.
He's not worth the 7th pick. And if it's supposedly true that he's trying to leverage his way to Portland because he wants to play with Dame, then we have freaking leverage. And people excused everything Cronin did at the trade deadline because he had no leverage. So if he's sitting here with a bunch of freaking leverage, then how can you excuse him for having no leverage and then excuse him when he has all the leverage? You got to keep it consistent. So if he's sitting there with all the leverage on Jeremy Grant and he's trying to leverage his way here, and I know, he's still under contract and whatnot, but he's a free agent next year. So if he's saying, okay, I don't want to go there, I'm not going to resign there, I'll resign in Portland though, then Cronin has a ton of leverage, all right? So if you think leverage matters that much, that Cronin got screwed over that bad, even though Cronin admitted to giving up some value at the trade deadline, but if you think leverage matters that much, then keep it consistent. We have leverage on Detroit. We should not give up the 7th overall pick for Jeremy Grant, who's probably going to be overpaid next year, isn't the elite on-ball defender that people think he is. If we traded the 7th pick for Jeremy Grant, it would look worse than the Rocco trade. The Rocco, when we traded 2 first-round picks for Robert Covington, could have had Sadiq Bey. And now everybody wants Sadiq Bey.
Oh, it would be worse. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Pistons give up a future first for that, but you better get some sort of value, whether it be another player from their team going to another team or something. You better get some value out of that.
Yep. Anyway.
Delusional Blazers fan says, so is Eric going to drink? What do you think I've been doing this whole time, man? Yeah.
He's been drinking. I mean, we're not going to stream that much longer either.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, Eric's just... yeah, I don't know. At least I have basketball tonight. I can take my mind off this crap.
Did you read Pat Mack's $5 donation?
No, I did not. You want to read it?
Yeah, tough break, but that's life as a Blazers fan, as we all know. Yeah, true that. Do either of you think it's possible we try to trade into the top 5 to get our forward? Like we talked about with the Kings pick, there's no way we can trade into the top 5. We don't have any assets, and I don't think any of those teams are going to accept 7 in the Milwaukee 2025 first. Yeah. Now, if we had 7 and 8 for like 3 or 4, like maybe, I don't know, but probably doubtful. But yeah, and I have no faith in our GM as a negotiator in trades. So yeah, I mean, we're talking if we move up into the top 5. I'd be scared because that would probably mean we made our pick with Chicago unprotected and then also possibly made a future first from ours unprotected. So we're talking about number 7 and 2 unprotected picks or something like that to move up. That's probably what it would take, at least to get one of the forwards, the 3 forwards in this draft. So I just don't think that's going to be possible or worth it if that's our plan, especially since those guys are all rookies and you have a huge unknown there. So I think it's more likely we trade the 7 for a proven player than we trade up in this draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Tom Fisher with a $5 donation. Tori, I had the pleasure to have dinner with Tom the other night.
Nice.
He was in town, and we went out, and it was a really nice time meeting and talking to him. But he says, Kings will Kings and pick Murray. Disappointing draft lottery for the Blazers, but I need some Blazers hope. Hope we can draft someone to be excited about.
The thing is the only guy outside of the top 4 that I really like is Sharp. And even if Keegan Murray goes at 4, which would be a very Kings pick, that's such a Kings pick that I think the Kings just look at that and be like, you know what, this would be such an us pick, and we want him because we're the Kings, but we should not draft who we want, so they'll just take Ivy or something. But even if they take Murray, it's like falling to 7 just makes it more likely that Sharp's not on the board. Because that's the thing, you'd have Sharp on the board or Ivy on the board if they took Murray at 4 if we were at 6, but being at 7.
I did hear that the Kings are very intrigued by Keegan Murray. So
that's the thing. We could maybe even trade up to 4 if they really wanted Keegan Murray if we were at 6. Well, but now that Indiana's at 6, Indiana's probably going to take him. So, I feel.
Yeah, unless one of the players measures well, you're probably looking at Murray, Sharp, Ivy, and then the 3 forwards being the top 6 picks. 7 is left to pick up the pieces from that.
Yep.
But thanks for the donut, Tom.
Wish we didn't go on that 4-game winning streak.
Well, we'd be 6 right now instead of 7. I mean,
wouldn't we have tied OKC?
I mean,
if we lost them all.
Guess, but
Alright, I mean, we'll have a bunch of streams and video content. I just am mentally over this at the moment.
Blue Diamond Gem with the $2 donation. I don't trust front office to navigate this draft. Yeah, it's probably a valid concern. Pat Mack with another $5 donation. In your guys' opinion, what do you think is the best course of action for the Blazers with the 7th pick? I think I speak for Torrey, where, in my opinion, the difference between 7 and less one of Sharp or Ivy fall, which is like 0.01% chance of that happening, I think. I think the best course of action is to trade down because there's a lot of players in the 7 to 15 to 16 range that are similarly graded for me. And I don't think there's much of a drop-off between a Mathurin and an Abaji or if you reach for a Duran instead of a Sohan or whatever. So, like, I would rather just trade back with the Hornets, get 13 and 15, and then take who's ever left at 13, whether it be Tari Eason or Jeremy Sohan or Agbaji or whoever it is. You could even take Usman Jang or Nikola Jovic. I don't really care who it is. I just think that strategy and picking up an extra pick, and whether you trade that 15th pick then for Jeremy Grant and just take one rookie and Jeremy Grant, I think would be, I mean, it's not ideal still, but it's more palatable than trading the 7th pick straight up for Jeremy Grant. And then you still have that Milwaukee 2025 first to maybe make a move with another one of your TPEs, maybe pick up a forward using that first round pick in Keon Johnson somewhere. But yeah, I think that would be my course of action with the 7th pick, is just trade down a few spots, try to pick up an additional asset so that we can use that in a trade for a forward, and then just hope for the best that our pick at 13 or 15 would be similar to whoever we took at 7 and maybe even better.
We're gonna trade 7 for Grant. It's okay. I'm gonna accept that now. Now it's just, all right, what's the next way we can get screwed, Eric? I'm sorry, but I can't think any other way. I've been trained to think this way. What's the next way we can get screwed? We can trade 7 for Jeremy Grant. And then we're gonna sign TJ Warren, and that's gonna be our starting forwards next year is Jeremy Grant and TJ Warren. And we are going to be a bottom 5 defense once again. And we're going to have all the same freaking conversations that we had in the past. How do we get this team to be a better defensive team?
Andrew, the Pistons are not accepting the Milwaukee pick in 7 for 5th and Grant. That's not happening. I don't even think
they'd take the Milwaukee pick at 7 for 5 on its own. So
yeah. Who do you think the Pistons take? Is who asked that question? Noah Wright asked that question. To me, I think they just take. There's 5 players I think who are the first 5 picks, and that's Holmgren, Jabari Smith, Paul Bencaro, Jaden Ivey, and Shaden Sharp. So they are left with whichever one of those 5 aren't taken. And the good thing for them is, since Cade Cunningham is like a forward who can play guard, they pretty much can make any of those 5 players work, in my opinion. So I think they're fine with whatever one of those 5 drops, and I think that's a good position for them. I know it's kind of frustrating for them that they're not going to get a top 5 pick, a top 3 pick, but I think they're going to be looking back on this draft saying like, oh, it wasn't really that bad because there were still 5 good players in this draft and we got one of them.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll have videos covering like trade downs and stuff like that. I'll try and cover all our options and have you prepared to know what our options are. At this point I am just fed up to be quite honest. I'm exhausted with this freaking franchise. And I just don't have confidence in the people steering the ship. And it's like, when you don't have confidence in the people steering the ship, and then they steer the ship into an iceberg, and then instead of plugging the holes, they like rip it open for no freaking reason. That's basically the equivalent of what I feel like we're doing right now. Like, not only did we screw up the trade deadline, and not only do I think we can't trust Joe Cronin in negotiations, we also get screwed by losing the Pelicans pick, and then screwed today. And then it's going to probably be a situation where we get screwed once again by trading pick number 7 for Jeremy Grant, and that's all we have to show for it. For all this crap, for all our assets that we had before the trade deadline, because we don't really got any now, except for the 7th overall pick. That's what I feel like is coming, Eric. I think we're going to trade 7 for Jeremy Grant. That's what my gut's telling me. Just like my gut told me we were going to have the 7th overall pick. Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, yeah. It's frustrating.
So, we'll have a stream tomorrow where we pick mock off-season teams. We have a mock off-season every year, so we're going to start that tomorrow. Then Thursday, we'll talk a lot about this on Blazers Uprise Live. That is our second channel, link in description box below. Go subscribe to that. Also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and leave a like on this stream.
Jing asked, with our luck right now, are you now willing to trade Dame for us to start a rebuild? Hell no, man.
No, how many times we do I have to say that, bruh?
Specifically you, Jing. Like, you ask that all the time. Everyone who's doing that, no. I mean, we do not advocate trading Dame for any reason. If he wants to be here, he gets to be a lifelong Blazer. I am never even entertaining trading Dame until he officially is done with this franchise.
We've explained that a million times, man. We've explained that to Jing, with Jing in here a million times, and it's like, I don't know what part of it being unconditional and explaining it like that people don't get, if they think, oh, well, because we didn't jump into the top 4, now do you want to trade it? No, like, what? I don't know how we can explain it where it's like, no, we don't want to trade Dame. Flat out simple. It's not hard. Just because we're at 7 instead of 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 doesn't mean now I want to trade Dame. No, it's not like that. I'm not teetering on the edge in terms of trading Dame. I get tired of having to try and explain it to people that I've explained it to, and they still don't understand it, apparently. I don't know, man. It just gets frustrating. Like, no, I don't want to trade Dame. Sorry if I'm being mean, but I've explained that many, 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 many times.
Well, the other thing is, too, anyone who says, like, Dame's going to request a trade now, once again, this channel, for those that don't know, all last offseason, I was the first one who said this, and Tori completely backed this up. Dame went through some situations where he was considering it, but I told you guys right from the moment he said he was starting to question things that ultimately he would figure out that his character and who he is isn't worth changing to request a trade. and he's said that ever since then. I mean, what is it, like 20 times he's said that, whether it be in press conferences or interviews or whatever. Like the guy, if he now requests a trade, he's going back on his entire existence and morale and character and all that kind of stuff, and he's just not going to do that. He said he now views this as a marriage and that he's in it through the thick and thin, and he was ups and downs like a roller coaster. He wants to win in Portland, and if he doesn't do that, he says he can live with that as long as he tried his best to do that. He's not going to ask out, at least not anytime soon, and I just don't. We're not going to entertain it much further anytime people talk about that.
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I mean, well said, man. I mean, we'll have to explain it again and again and again, but I guess we'll keep explaining it. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, maybe I need to make a video and just say that 50 times in a row, and then we can just link it anytime somebody asks. I don't know, man. Anyway, anything else in chat that you want to read off?
If we traded back and got 13 and 15 and then had 13 and Jang and Sohan were available, who would you pick?
Right now, Jang. I think he has more upside offensively. Sohan's the better defender, but I think Jang can be a really good defender. So when I look at the offensive end, I like Jang a little more.
Yeah, I like Jang a little more, but I still think that's more as like a rebuilding team. So overall, I think Sohan would fit in better if we're just talking about who helps us more in the next 2 years. I think it's Sohan. So it's a tough argument versus need versus
I just
upside.
don't think he helps us enough in the next 2 years, so I'd rather just go for upside if it's not a guy that can help us enough. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they have similar upside, so I don't think it's that big of a stretch. So yeah, I think Sohan does a lot of things that can help teams win. He'd be kind of a glue guy, and I think we have definitely been missing that the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, we just need forwards
Collins hurt.
We just need forwards that can do more than one thing, though. That's where I get hung up on, like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, he has upside as a playmaker, ball handler. Maybe he can figure out his shot.
Well,
but I'm tired of having forwards that it's like Norman Powell, who comes here and doesn't even try on freaking defense and doesn't do anything defensively.
But I mean, that's not Sohan at all. Sohan's
no, I know, but like,
yeah.
Let me make my point. Norman Powell's a good offensive player, right? And he really struggled defensively. Robert Covington was a good defensive player who was like mediocre offensively, but he could shoot a little bit, right? But then this year he was bad for us defensively, right? Like, what was his redeeming value? I don't know. Aminu and Harkless in the past weren't good offensively. They were good defensively. But I just can't remember. I can't think of a forward that was legitimately a sure positive on both ends of the floor. I don't know if Dame's ever had a forward since LaMarcus Aldridge, maybe. But LaMarcus Aldridge was only an average defender. He was just phenomenal offensively. So obviously I'd take somebody who's phenomenal offensively. I'm tired of having forwards that can only do one thing well. And hopefully whoever we take, like, I'm not saying that Sohan's that guy. I've noticed that I'm leaning more towards the project forwards that I think will take some time to develop, but I could easily see them being positives on the offensive and defensive end. You know what I mean? I get so frustrated with the one-dimensional forwards.
I mean, I've watched several Usman Jang games, and I think I would say their upside offensively is pretty comparative. Both of them figure to be a kind of best case scenario, a secondary ball handler who can make plays for others, but also get their own shot off the dribble.
Yeah, and Jang's just a better shooter, I think.
Well, I mean, that's not proven. They're both questionable shooters at this time. Jang improved throughout the season, but he was still his overall numbers throughout the season were still very questionable, just like Sohan's were. Both of them have similar playmaking abilities. And then defensively, it's not even close. Sohan's miles better defensively, so I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, well, I want Jang.
Okay.
That's what I want. That's just my opinion. I don't know. It's all projection. Shout out Brian Tadovich, $2 dono. Or wait, no. Who was the last dono?
That we read?
Yeah.
The last one we read was Pat Max one, so...
Okay, shout out Liam Best, $2 dono. He says, coming out with Grant and Jing's 6'10 self. I think Jing's going to measure a little bit shorter than that. I think he's more 6'8 than 6'10, but I mean, I like Jang, man. I might have a draft profile for him. It's hard to know what draft profiles to do for the Blazers, considering I have no idea where they're going to be picking if they trade down. Would have been a lot easier. I would have just done some random ones and some second round ones if they were picking at the top, but with them picking at 7, I think I'll have to do them through like the middle of the first round, and then I'll do a couple second round profiles for guys I like. Thank you, Liam, for the $2 dono. Shah Isaiah Muhammad, $5 donor says, LOL, what will the reaction be if Cronin trades 7 and Milwaukee pick for Grant? I wouldn't put anything in past him. Hope we get the pick, though. Eric, what's your reenactment of what your reaction will be? Can you give us a little teaser?
I mean, I'll have an epic meltdown if we trade just the 7, so I can't imagine if we gave up an additional asset in there and didn't get anything noteworthy back in that
That's just the cherry on top of the crap sundae, man. I want ice cream. Ice cream sounds good right now. That's how I can cope with this. Anyway, shout out to Brian Tadovich, $2 dono says, why don't we just start Nas? I believe in him. I mean, it might end up in a situation where we have to start Nas and hope that he can break out, but I wanted to have that be a bonus on top of having a sound foundation, because betting on that, I expect him to improve a little bit, but I have a hard time seeing, I don't know, like you're that's just a gamble.
Well,
and that should not that shouldn't be the main thing we have to rely on to get us to contention as Nasir Little.
Well, even if that's the case, let's say Nas breaks out, right, and he's starting small forward worthy, which I think is a possibility. I'm not going to rule that out. He was already on the roster. Like, we didn't that's not something that Cronin gets credit for. The plan then works out. He just got lucky that one of the players that was on the roster already that Neil Olshey drafted panned out, right? So, like, Ant, Nas, Greg Brown, all those guys, Watford, Cronin gets absolutely zero credit for any of those guys panning out. Those are not his picks. So we need those guys to all take a big jump up. And hopefully that happens, and Cronin can still get lucky with his plan working out if Nas takes a huge jump and is our starting small forward, considering he's probably going to strike out and not get a starting caliber small forward out of this whole offseason. So that might be what happens. But like I said, that's not because of the plan we had. It's just because Nas progressed and was good and probably helpful from Chauncey's development. But that doesn't mean that the plan itself was good and executed well.
Yep. Agreed. Shout out to Pat Mack, $2 dono. He says, trade Little. I wouldn't go there. But, I mean, if you could trade Little to get into the top 3 with the 7th pick, I'd probably do it. Would you do it?
I mean, if you can get in the top 3, I think you got to consider that, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing from people that like Cronin and Phillips are down on Little, which I've heard the exact opposite for what it's worth. I think they're super high on Little, and I think they think he's going to be their de facto defensive stopper and all that kind of stuff. And I think they're focused on him developing in that way. Whether that works out or not, I don't know. But I think Billups in particular really likes Nas and is focused on him developing at the small forward position, and I hope it works out.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, at this point, I look at Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, and I think we can build a similar roster to that. So, and we have the superstar who should be healthy, and we have Ant, and some young guys that can break out. I mean, look at Memphis this year. We thought their roster got worse, and they just had guys that improved a lot, so they jumped up to number 2, and they played well as a team. So, I mean, it's not. None of this is. I don't know. Like, we just made it a lot harder on ourselves, and then we got screwed every step of the way. So it's like this got botched. It was a good plan. It just got executed poorly, and then we had bad luck on top of that. So it's just a really, really bad. But it's not anything that dooms us into not being able to make some noise.
Important note. I don't want to speak for you, but I was 100% on board building around Dame, Ant, and Nas and trading pretty much everyone else. I like Nurk more than most people, so if you want to include him in that or not. But, get as much value as you could from CJ Norm, especially after Ant started showing that he was more than capable of filling the role. But, yeah, you can't have that plan and then not get any assets out of it and then expect it to work out. I think that's where it's going to fail.
Yep. Yeah.
Shout out to Adam McVeigh, member for 3 months. If we trade Nasir Little, I'll lose it. At this stage, he should be untouchable. I'd rather him than Grant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not as high on Nas as a lot of other people are, but I'm not down on him. I just think he has
hater,
yeah. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, sure, I'm a Nas hater. Nah, for real though, he hasn't proven anything consistently on the NBA level yet, so I would rather give him a chance to prove that off the bench next year, and then if he really earns a starting spot, then he earns a starting spot, and maybe he starts over somebody good that you can bring off the bench, instead of he better break out this year or else we're screwed. You know what I mean? That's just not what I was hoping for.
Well, inarguably, Josh Hart was a better player than Jeremy Grant once he got traded to the Blazers. I know a small sample size, so who knows? But if you just compare their stats, Josh Hart was a better player and he's a better defender. And then if you break it down even further, I think this is inarguable. Some people will argue it. But Trendon Watford was actually a better player than Jeremy Grant this year once he started getting the same amount of minutes as Jeremy Grant. And we've talked about that before on this channel.
We did a statistical poll. We did a blind statistical poll. We gave Grant stats as a starter for a rebuilding team, and we gave Trendon Watford stats as a starter for a rebuilding team. Small sample size, I know, but still, I think 2/3 of the vote would have preferred Trendon Watford's stat line. They didn't know who the players were. So, I mean, Grant's a role player. He's not a freaking star. People need to stop treating him like he's a star, because he's not. So where are we going to get that star? It's going to have to be Nas or Ant. I mean, Ant looks like a star, but I mean, I guess that's where I look at Dallas and like, okay, they could get it done with Jalen Brunson as their best player, then we can get it done with Anthony Simons as our best player, I guess. But Dallas is really good defensively.
Second best.
So as their second best player, yeah.
You said best player. Yeah, I was what?
Yeah, second best player. But I mean, Dallas defends. So how are we going to play some freaking defense? We need to play some freaking defense. That's what it comes down to, I guess, And if Grant can help, cool. But he doesn't grade out analytically as a positive on-ball defender. And everybody thought that Rocco... The way people were talking about Jeremy Grant's defense now and how bad they want it on this team and how it's what this team needs is exactly what they were saying about Robert Covington before we traded 2 first-round picks for him. And now they pretend like they never, ever, ever said that. Now it's like, oh, that was such a stupid trade. Look at Olshey making another stupid trade. Stupid Olshey. Thank God we have Cronin. He has a plan. And their plan for him is to trade either a top 3 pick for DeAndre Ayton, which is just stupid, just to pay him a max, which he doesn't deserve, and he proved that in this year's playoffs, or it's to trade a 7th overall pick for Jeremy Grant and run back Rocco 2.0, just a higher usage, little better offensive version. Maybe noticeably better offensive version, but...
Yeah, he's better.
Yeah, obviously, but you're giving up more. So if you're getting Rocco in a better offensive version and you're giving up the 7th pick, it's not a good value trade. If Rocco wasn't a good value trade, giving up 2 mid-first for him.
And in case there's anyone here who haven't heard us talking about this before, Jeremy Grant is a worse on-ball defender than Robert Covington. Okay? And that is hard to do because Robert Covington is known as a good off-ball defender, right? He is not good on ball. But Jeremy Grant is somehow worse. But for some reason, he has fooled everyone into thinking he is a good on-ball defender when he's not. Now, people try to excuse that and say, oh, he was playing on the Pistons or whatever. Well, his last year in Denver, he was bad on ball as well. But people see him like get in someone's face for one possession, like LeBron's face in the playoffs, and they think he's a good defender. Like the metrics, every single defensive metric, even though those aren't completely accurate all the time, they don't support Jeremy Grant being a good defender. And you can keep saying he is, or hope that he is in the right situation, or maybe Chauncey can, in the right role, can make him a good defender. But it's more likely that Jeremy Grant has the same issues that a Robert Covington and Norman Powell and the players that we had to trade away because they weren't fitting into Chauncey's system is going to have, versus a player that is known for trying his butt off on defense. And anyone saying that Jeremy Grant will be different in Portland, in my opinion, is just saying that with wishful thinking. Now, you might be right. It could happen where he comes here and he's just rededicated to defense and he becomes a dog on that end and really works his butt off on that end, considering he has a little lesser role in offense. That's certainly possible, but it's just projection at this point. There's nothing that Jeremy Grant has done where you can point to and say he will for sure be that defensive player if he gets traded here.
That's why I want OG Anunoby, because he is that type of defender that people think Jeremy Grant is.
Mm-hmm. And this is the problem. People say, well, if we go with the Dame Ant background, it's just the same thing as the Dame CJ backcourt. Well, when we had a good perimeter defender like a Mo Harkless at the 3, it was different. Like, we were a top 10 defense at one point with that lineup. And we made the Western Conference Finals with that kind of lineup. And then we had a Zach Collins who's like a really good rim protector and a okay big at guarding on the perimeter. And before he got hurt, he was part of a Western Conference Finals run as well and had earned a starting spot at that point. So to me, if you trade for a Jeremy Grant, you're basically going the route that you went with Robert Covington and hoping that works out the same way or differently than it worked out with Robert Covington and Dame and CJ. Whereas, like you mentioned, OG Anunoby is actually a proven on-ball defender. I mean, we have to just ignore injuries for a minute because obviously OG has some injury concerns. He's rarely played a full season. But if you're just looking at pure on-ball defenders, it's not even close between those two. And, I mean, it might be harder to get OG, but we need a player at one of our forward positions that's good on ball and at least decent off ball. But you can't really do that if you continue to add forwards that are terrible on ball. Then, yes, we might have the same problems that we continue to have.
Yep. What's the last dono we need to read?
Angelic Ambition with a $5 donation. Anyway, we can get Grant in the 5th pick for the combo of Keon 7, Milwaukee pick, and future picks.
We can't trade our future picks.
We can't trade our future picks right now. Unprotecting them would be a mistake, in my opinion. And I don't think Detroit, like we mentioned earlier, there's 5 good players, I think, in Detroit's mind right now, that they'd be happy with any one of those 5. So they're sitting in a perfect position to where they're guaranteed one of those 5 players. And that's Sharp, Banchero, Smith, Holmgren, and Ivy. And so they just have to sit there and just wait for whichever one falls. And I think they're fine with any of those guys.
Yeah, Shaw Pac-Man. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if they trade down, then you aren't guaranteed one of them. And I think it becomes a lot worse for them and convoluted. And I don't think most teams are willing to trade a guaranteed top 5 guy for an unknown in this draft.
Yep. Shop Pat Mac, $5 dono, says, just wanted to donate another $5 for the awesome work you guys do on this channel. Thanks for everything. 100 emoji. Thank you, Pat Mac.
Thanks, Pat Mac. Appreciate it.
Shout out Brian Tadovich, $5 dono, says, will Dame win MVP next year? Ant be most improved, Hart be 6th man, or we make the Western Conference Finals? I think Dame will be MVP. Out of those 4, what's most likely? I think Hart being 6th man is most likely, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, especially if he does come off the bench. I think he'll get plenty of minutes. I don't know if his points per game will be enough once Dame comes back, because a lot of times casual media player people vote for, who scores the most on the bench. So maybe that would hurt his chances. I do think since Ant sat out the last 20 or so games, and might have been most improved this year had he not, I think he does have a chance of really improving on those numbers next year. But once again, with Dame back, I don't know if they'll look quite as big of a jump as if he was on another team where he was the lead guard. See CJ getting traded to New Orleans, where he's probably going to see a slight improvement on his overall stats next year. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be awesome if Dame won MVP, but there's just so many good players in the NBA right now. I mean, it would take a really special season, and for us to be one of the top seeds and Dame to average, 30 and 8 again while being a top 3 seed, I think, and that's just going to be tough with the amount or lack of assets we have this summer.
Yep. Shout out to Liam Best, $2 dono, says, does falling make Detroit easier or harder to deal with? I don't know.
Them falling or us falling? I mean, for us falling, I think it makes it easier to just say, in a bad way, yeah. So you could just say, well, we didn't move up. We tried. We had a 37.2% chance. It didn't work out. Let's just trade the 7th pick and get Grant. So I think that makes the trade with Detroit easier that way. But from Detroit's perspective, like I said, they're still top 5. I still think they're okay positioning. And I think they're in a position right now that until Grant does use leverage, which he has not yet, unless he does use that leverage and demands a trade to a certain destination like Portland, and then tells other teams that he's not going to re-sign with them, which would decrease the offers for him to where the Blazers could maybe offer less than the 7th pick. Unless that happens, I just think that it makes Detroit's position to where they can still get the best value for him, no matter whether it's the Blazers or whatever team. I don't think this impacts a Grant trade at all. Yeah. But in order for it to be the best case scenario for Portland, I think those positions had to be flipped. So we had to be higher than the Pistons and then hope that they really wanted someone, and it was worth us trading down a couple spots. I know we couldn't get 5 in this particular example, but if the Pistons would have fallen to 7 and we would have been like 4th or something, then maybe we trade back to 7 and get Grant in that deal because they move up. But I just don't see any scenario where they move back for Grant in this case.
Shout Brian Ravenel, $5 donor, says, could we trade 7 and Bledsoe and the Milwaukee first for Jeremy Grant? I mean, we could. I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it.
In my opinion, if we give up the 7th pick, they better take Bledsoe so we still have that trade exception, at least until the trade deadline, right?
Yeah.
So if we give up the 7th pick and let them clear all that salary off their books, that's a massive that's just the cherry on top of a crappy trade.
I mean, if we trade 7 straight up for Jeremy Grant, that's how you know Cronin is just absolutely not the man for the job. It's obvious if that happens, because that's a terrible, you can't make a leverage excuse for him this time. Instead, It should work for him. So if he can't even attach Bledsoe to match to keep the TPE when they're getting freaking 7, then, I mean...
And then if we gave up the Milwaukee pick on top of that.
Yeah, we need the right person running our organization. Obviously, that wasn't Olshey, and I think at this point, it's pretty obvious it's not Cronin, but if that happens, then it's definitely obvious that it's not Cronin, and I just want a freaking GM that knows what the hell he's doing. And so, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, if we trade the 7 for Jeremy Grant straight up, and we use the TPE, and we then cut Bledsoe and have to eat his salary of $3.9 million for dead money next year, or even worse, we stretch it over 3 years and we owe him for 3 more years, or not owe him, but it counts against our salary cap for 3 more years. That's just going to be, dude, I just don't know how that's even possible. Like, if you if you have the leverage to get them enough salary to maybe go after a DeAndre Ayton now, in addition to getting Sharper Ivy in this draft,
Yeah.
like you better get compensated for that when you're giving up the seventh pick and giving them a chance to be players in free agency.
Yeah. I wonder. Detroit's. Oh, they couldn't do that. I'm just looking at their pick next year that they owe to OKC. That's protected
Yeah,
1 through 18.
it's have weird protections. Yeah.
Um,
How long is it protected till? Is it just one more year, or is it?
2027. It's protected 1
Oh,
to
okay,
9.
yeah, that's one of those. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the problem. Is I don't know. We couldn't say, oh, we get their pick next year if it's between 7 and 18 or whatever, because then that would violate the stipend rule or the Stepien rule, however you say that dude's name. Because then they could trade the 224 first to OKC because that's one of the backup protections. So they can't trade 2023 and 2024. So you can't word it like that. You can't take any part of those protections and get him to Portland. So yeah, I mean, why can't they don't even have their second round pick next year. I mean, they don't have much to make it worth it at 7. Like, at the very least, try and trade down to 9 and 20 for San Antonio. It's just so blotched.
I don't think that's worth San Antonio moving up 2 spots in this draft.
I don't think either, but maybe they want AJ Griffin, Maybe they really like an AJ Griffin and think he's going to get taken at 7 or 8.
Maybe. I mean, that they got to hope for just one scenario like that, right?
I mean, my dream trade down would be Rui and 10 for 7, but I don't see Washington doing that unless they really want somebody at 7. But that's the case. If we're trading down, then it's like it just takes a team really wanting somebody at 7 that they don't think is going to be there, and you might be able to get back better value. So, like, if we could get Rui, then that would be dope. If you could get PJ Washington as part of 13 and 15 with Charlotte, that would be really good, actually. I would definitely take that. And then you trade 15 for as part of a Grant trade if you have to. But I still think Keon Johnson in the Milwaukee 2025 first and some future seconds is very solid. Mm-hmm. Keon Johnson would probably be a borderline lottery pick in this draft. So you're talking about, I don't know, you can't talk about Keon like that. That's the mistake a lot of people made, but I think Keon makes sense in Detroit. So that's how you got to pitch him is, he would be he was looked at as a lottery pick going into last year. That's a deeper draft than this year. So, I don't know. I mean, Cronin just has his work cut out for him, and it's mostly his fault. Part of it's bad luck. Now, I mean, that's the thing is, like, Olshey, you could always question certain things. Like, was he actually trying to trade CJ and couldn't find a good trade for CJ? Or, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the stuff with Olshey was just questionable. It's going to be real obvious at the end of this offseason with Cronin. Like, it's already pretty damn obvious, but, there's still a couple questionable things. Leverage, blah, 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 all that type of stuff that people question is going to be real obvious because now he has the freaking leverage. So you're going to know if Cronin's cut out for this or not real quick. 2 months from now, you'll know.
Well, what's funny, Tori? You're not the people who say, like, well, you don't know what was offered for Cronin to accept or not, like, whether with the CJ trade, right? Like, you don't know if the Lakers pick was on the table even, right? Which is completely ignoring all our points. But the fact is, if Olshey ever considered trading CJ, and we heard that joke from David Griffin saying, like, oh, good thing Olshey wasn't the GM anymore because we would have never gotten CJ if that was the case. Well, no crap, because Olshey wasn't dumb enough to trade CJ for Josh Hart, Thomas Sadaransky, and a freaking Milwaukee 2025 first-round pick, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what drives me crazy is all these people say, oh, Olshey never was willing to take a risk and trade CJ. No, it's probably because if you're on the side of Cronin, that's the best he could get for CJ, then it's also matches that Olshey was probably right not to trade him because you're better off trying to win with CJ if that's the best you can get for him. So it doesn't make sense that people have both sides of the argument and try to play it and contradict themselves. Whereas he absolutely, Cronin should have gotten more for CJ, especially with a team like New Orleans who was desperate for him and had multiple draft picks and a ton of draft capital to exchange in that offer. And we got completely screwed. And so, yeah, I'm not defending Olshey. I don't want him back as GM. I'm glad he's gone. But at the same time, I think this is probably justifying why he wasn't willing to give up CJ for nothing in some of these trades.
Yep. Shout out to Brian Ravenel, another $5 dono. He says, I meant 7 in Bledsoe for OG, and then Keon and the Milwaukee first for Grant. I mean, that would be at this point, that would be a pipe dream.
I'll take it
I would absolutely take that in run. And
I mean, we're talking about fleecing 2 teams that we just...
I don't think we're fleecing Detroit if Grant
is
leveraging
the
his
Milwaukee
way
pick.
Here.
Yeah.
If it's Keon and the Milwaukee pick.
That ties into the next one, the next donation.
Shout out to Luis Nunez. $5 dono. He says, isn't Grant a free agent after this upcoming year? Can't we just play hardball if Detroit demands too much and wait to sign him next offseason? Yeah.
Well, it's important to note that depending on what we sign, Nurkic and Ant and Ingles and stuff like that too, if we resign those guys, we probably don't have enough cap space to sign Jeremy Grant next offseason.
At that point, you're probably looking at a sign and trade.
Yeah. But, yes, a smart GM would play hardball and say, hey, look, you're not getting offers from any team, because what was Detroit asking for at the trade deadline? 2 first-round picks, right?
Yep.
And those are probably, when you say that, it's usually 2 lottery-protected firsts or whatever. So they did not get that offer from any team. Otherwise, Jeremy Grant would not be on Detroit right now in most cases, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not a good enough GM to use that as leverage, then what we've been talking about all offseason so far is that you don't deserve to be GM if you can't use that leverage to your advantage. So if you still give up a more than or as much as Detroit is asking for when you have the leverage in that situation of saying, no, Grant's going to leave you in a year if you don't get anything for him, this is probably the best case offer you're going to get, especially if Grant says he's not re-signing with other teams. Then Cronin will once again get blasted on this show.
Here's the thing, if they want 2 first-round picks, I know it's not the best value, but you're getting a future first-round pick, and you're getting a guy who's barely 20 years old who was just a first-round pick, who fits kind of next to Cade. I think Keon fits there. They need some help on the perimeter. So if you can't try and sit there and pitch that and say, you didn't get 2 first-round picks, now Jeremy Grant's trying to leverage his way to Portland because he wants to play with Dame. So you're probably not going to get much from another team, and you already weren't getting your 2 first-round picks in the first place at the deadline, so now it's going to be even harder to get 2 first-round picks. And the dude went there and didn't even take more money to go to, a rebuilding franchise. I mean, you don't include that as part of negotiations. That's just kind of my point. But if you can't use that to pitch Keon Johnson and Milwaukee first for Grant, then... I mean, good. I don't think if they can't get 2 first-round picks, I don't see how they're getting more than that, especially if you include a second or 2.
I'm guessing we give up the 36 in that scenario too.
Yeah, fine. Give up the 36.
Justify Keon and 36 as a first, basically combined, and then the Milwaukee first as a late first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the trade for Jeremy Grant needs to be, and then you can draft somebody at 7, or maybe you could get Noji and Anunoby for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could trade down for 13 and 15 and have both 13 and 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't see, that's the thing. Even if we trade down for 13 and 15, it'd be better than 7. So that's why I throw it out as an idea for Grant. But I still don't think they should have to give up more than Keon Johnson, the 2025 Milwaukee first, and 36. Here's the thing. Detroit fans... they think they can get Anthony Simons and the 7th overall pick, which doesn't even make sense because it'd have to be a sign trade. So don't listen to Detroit fans that are going to overvalue Jeremy Grant. No offense to any Detroit fans watching, but yeah, you're not getting Anthony Simons for him. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we trade Am for Jeremy Grant, dude, that's worse than trading 7 for Jeremy Grant.
That would
In
be
my
the worst
opinion.
trade in Blazer history.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zach
Yeah.
S. $5 dono. Says trade down with the Hornets and try and get Mark Williams and Oshai Agbaji. I would not like those two being the 2 draft picks. I think we have to go for upside with. If we keep both picks, we have to go for upside with one of them.
We're lagging, maybe.
We are. Stop lagging.
There we go.
We're good now.
Yeah, Mark Williams. I like Mark Williams a lot, actually, but yeah, I at 13 or 15, I think they're, like you said, they're higher upside players for those that missed it because we were lagging. And I would actually maybe even try to trade down again and still get like a Coloco, who I think is rated around or slightly better than Mark Williams, and pick up another asset and just keep doing that kind of stuff rather than just sit there and take Mark Williams. But in terms of O'Shea Agbaji, I think he would be one of the few players in the teens that I could sit here and say I could pretty much guarantee he could help us almost immediately and would fit in. He knows Dame. I think he's got a game that can be plug and play with almost any team. Now, position wise,
that's if he's big enough to play the 3.
If he's not big enough to play the 3, which I mean, I think 6'5" is big enough to play the 3 in most cases, but we're talking about trading down and not using our 7th pick on a player, so we have another asset there. So we're not quite as desperate to have that player play a 3. And I think Agbaji, if we traded back to 13 and 15, if he's one of those 2 picks, I think he would fit in seamlessly with this roster. And he stayed at Dame's house last season for a while and trained with him. So I think I think Dame would like having him on the team.
Yep, agreed. Anyway, I gotta run. We'll have a stream tomorrow. You can come hang out with us on our second channel, but we'll be picking mock off-season teams. But, we can chill, and it'll be more chill than this. And then we'll have a stream on Thursday talking about things in this pick on Blazers Uprise Live. That'll be our second channel, those 2 streams the next 2 days, our second streaming channel. A link in description box below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Leave a like on this channel as well. It helps us out. And anything else you want to say for this unfortunate live stream?
Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate everyone's support on the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night despite what happened here in the draft lottery, and I hope to see all of you on future streams. Come join us this offseason. We'll have a draft stream. We'll have free agency stream, live stream on this channel. And then our secondary channel, Blazers Uprise Live, we have weekly shows on Monday and Thursday nights. And so come join us for those if you like talking basketball and Blazers and all that stuff. And we'll have some fun this summer despite the bad news.
Yep. Anyway, that's a wrap for this lottery stream. Thank you to everybody who donated as well. We'll catch you, whenever we catch you. I'm just going to go and try and take my mind off this stuff. And hopefully you're able to have a good rest of your night. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.